Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim from OnlineTeacherDo.com, and I help online teachers to get started in this industry, to either work for a company or a marketplace, or ultimately to build their own independent teaching business. Thanks for stopping by, and if you're not a subscriber, please do hit subscribe or you'll get notified of the live shows that I do on Mondays, as well as anytime I upload a new video. I want to do something a little bit different in this video. I want to kind of tell a story. I want to talk about my story and the turning point that happened for me in my online teaching business that really started to change the game, not only for my income, but for what I was able to do within online teaching and how I was able to help other online teachers. And I share this story really so that you can think about your own turning point, or maybe what that turning point might look like, and maybe glean some inspiration from how I decided to take action on certain things and what that now looks like in my business. So I started teaching online really officially in 2018 for a company called VIPKid. And VIPKid was a huge player in the online tutoring space for ESL, hiring North American teachers to teach Chinese students in China. And it was a game changer for so many. It was a great way to work at home. It was a great way to make a pretty decent income. And it was a great way to, maybe have a more flexible type of lifestyle. I was looking for all of those things. After getting burnt out in the classroom, I was looking for something that I could do from home. I was looking to be able to make, if not as much, close to as much as I was making in the school system. And so VIPKid provided that. I call them the good old days because it was so much fun. It was just like, it was easy work. You were able to open up your schedule, decide the hours that you wanted to work, more or less. You had to sort of open hours during peak times when students were taking classes after school in China. The pay was decent, for a work-at-home job. I wouldn't say that it was incredible, but it was decent, and it allowed me to quit my teaching job and to be able to do this at home while I sort of explored other things. So the beginning days were fun. They were exciting. I couldn't believe that I could open up my laptop, turn it on, open up a schedule through an app, and make money teaching students online without all the other bureaucracy of working in a school system, without the meetings, the report cards, the paperwork, all that kind of stuff. I still got to teach students and I still got to make money. That was amazing to me. So I did this for a long time. I actually taught almost for 4 years with them. But the problem started to arise for me when I started looking at the fact that I was really having to work a lot of hours to maybe make a little less than, sometimes a little more than $2,000 a month. Now, $2,000 a month is nothing to sneeze at, and I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for that money that I was making, but I knew that I couldn't live forever on $2,000 a month. I was, and currently am living in Asia, so $2,000 a month goes a much longer way than it does in, North America, especially where I'm from in Canada. I knew that, I could certainly support living for $2,000 a month. I wasn't going to save very much, but I was able to cover all my expenses, have extra money for other things that I wanted to do, and it was comfortable. But at the end of the day, I really wasn't making a lot of money, and I knew that it was going to be short-lived. I knew that if it came down to it, at some point I was probably going to have to go back into the classroom. I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to figure out a way that I could scale what I was doing and not trade as much time for money. At that time I was working about 4 hours a day. Now I know a lot of other online teachers are working even more than I was, but I started to dread those days when I had 8 consecutive classes, which was 4 hours. And I knew that when I was starting to dread it, that this was just not a sustainable thing. As much fun as it was, as easy as it was starting to become mundane. So one of the things that kind of fell into my lap during those days of working for VIPKid was recruiting. They were paying teachers $100 if you could help someone get through the hiring process and teach their first class. I saw a great opportunity with this, so I created a YouTube channel to walk people through the demo classes, to help people with the mock classes. I started offering coaching sessions, and I did very well with recruiting. I did scale my income. I did make even more sometimes recruiting than I was teaching my classes. And some months I couldn't even believe that I was able to do this. But I knew again that that was short-lived as well. I knew that, I was depending on a referral program from another company. I liken it to, I was building this business, so to speak, or building my house on someone else's property. And I would never really be in complete control over all of those things. What if one day they decided to take the referral program away? They did that. Literally, almost overnight, they took away a lot of benefits with the referral program, particularly their milestone program. And then as time went on, I started making less with recruiting, and I knew that this wasn't sustainable. So then I started opening up even more classes with VIP Kid, and some days I was working 5 hours. I was still doing a little bit of recruiting on the side, but then came 2021. And in July of 2021, we online teachers who were teaching Chinese students started to hear rumbles about a possible shake-up with the industry where, maybe we weren't able to do what we were doing anymore. And that's what happened. So that's going back to August of 2021. A lot of the companies shut down overnight and the referral program stopped. Companies weren't hiring teachers, and slowly these companies were phasing out of allowing North American teachers to teach Chinese students, or native English speakers to teach Chinese students. So I started to build my own teaching business. I started to take a lot of the students that I was teaching and teach them privately. I started to do a little bit of marketing to get new students, and I started to build up my schedule of teaching privately and independently, which did give me more money and did give me a lot more freedom and control over my schedule, control over my own policies. I was able to teach what I wanted, and so life was good. I was able to really pivot nicely and continue doing what I love doing, but do less of it and make more money. So I want to say that, while I'm grateful for this entire journey, throughout all of this, I still knew that there was something missing. And a turning point for me was when I realized that with all of these things, I was still trading time for money. The money that I was making was still equated to the number of hours that I worked. And yes, I was making more, and yes, I was able to work a little bit less, and so that was great, but I was still trading time for money. And until I realized that I was capable of creating my own offer, that I was able to actually, create something that would help someone else and able to sell that, I knew that I was going to be doing this for a long time and maybe not able to scale it because I was still teaching one-on-one classes and I was still trading time for money, and I wasn't really able to build that much wealth from that. And I was having a conversation one day with another online teacher who I was talking to about this issue, and I was saying, if only I could one day have something that created passive income for me, or one day was able to create something that was going, a course or something like that that was able to, where I was able to scale my income, how great would that be? And that person said to me, Tim, it's not if you can do that, it's when you can do that. And that was a turning point for me when I realized that it wasn't about if I was able to, because I knew I could, but I had a lot of fears and doubts and mindset blocks around it. But it was when I realized, yeah, it's when. When am I going to do this? The time is now. It's scary, it's risky, maybe it'll fail. You have all those thoughts, right? About, doing something that's a little bit risky or putting yourself out there in a new way. I was always making videos about VIP Kid. I was always talking about recruiting. But what else did I know about? What else could I help teachers to do that would allow me to have my own offer that was scalable, that would create passive income, that would allow me to get those purchase dings when I was sleeping? And passive income is sometimes overused as a sort of synonym with making money while you sleep. And while that can happen, there is a lot of work on the front end. I want to say that to enable you to have that passive income. And there's work to maintain that and keep that going as well. But that was a real turning point for me. So here's exactly how I did it. I thought about what teachers might want and need if they were building a business, and what do I have some skills in that would enable them to be successful in creating whatever that is, XYZ, whatever. And so after doing a lot of thinking, I thought that I would help teachers with websites. And this was the very first product I created. It's called Website in a Weekend. It is still available. It still makes me money. Not as much as it did in the beginning, but it is still something that people can purchase for, I think it's $27, something like that. And it's, so it's a low price product. It comes with some training videos, and that's what I did. How did I arrive at that? Well, first thing I did is I asked people, I gave people that were following me or, on my email list or things like that, a couple of options about what would be something that you would need help with. And building a website was an overwhelming struggle for a lot of teachers. For those that wanted to teach independently, or for those that maybe wanted to have their own product to sell on a website, a lot of teachers wanted help with websites. And so I did some market research, I looked around at what other people were offering, I tried to make something a little bit different, and that is how Website in a Weekend came about. Simply by asking people what they wanted, by doing a little bit of listening online as to what people were asking questions about, and then thinking about what I could do to help them. And I looked at my own website and how I was able to successfully build that, even to build it to a place where there's ads on it and I'm able to make passive income from having ads on my website. And I worked backwards from there and thought about what is the process that I took to go from not having a website to having a website. And that is what the course is all about. And so, that's the process that I took. I worked backwards from where I was successful, and I want you to know that in order to create something to help somebody else, you don't have to be a full expert in that thing. You don't have to be a professional website designer to help somebody build a website. All you need to do is know a little bit more than someone who you're helping. You just need to be a few steps ahead of them so that you can help bring them along to where they want to be, which is probably where you are. And so if you've achieved some level of success in something, you can hold someone's hand and bring them along to where you're at by providing some kind of resource for them. So I created the product, I did video trainings, I created some PDF downloads, I added some bonus videos as well, and I initially hosted it on a site called Kajabi, which allows you to build an email list and to host memberships and courses. I've since taken everything off of there, and I now use Groove.cm, which is a complete CRM automation machine with everything under one roof. But so I now host my courses there and build my email list there as well. But I had it on Kajabi, and then once it was done, I marketed it everywhere. I talked about it on my YouTube channel, I talked about it in Facebook groups, I shared it wherever I could, in all the places online, so that people knew that I was helping people to build a website. Because if I didn't do that, no one else is going to do it for me. So that's another thing I want to say is, no one's going to talk more about your business or what you're doing more than you are until you get people who find success with your product and tell other people about it. So that's what I did. I marketed it. I sold a lot during the launch week of it. And there's a lot of strategies that I could go through in another video about how to market it, how to sell it, how to pre-sell it, how to build excitement around it on social media, and how to make money from it as well. And as I say, today, it still makes me money. So that was the first thing that I did. That was the first product I created. And since then, I've created more products. Many of you might be familiar with my Launch Going Solo course. That has been an incredible way to build my income and to serve more teachers and to help teachers to go independent. I've also recently, and I wanted to talk about this product, Launchbox, which is sort of a version of my launch course with just digital downloads, PDF files, resources, and swipes. And I had the idea to create that as a smaller price product to my Launch Going Solo course, so that teachers who couldn't afford the launch course would be able to get something that would at least get them started teaching independently. And I just recently created that, and that's another product that is creating passive income for me. There was a lot of work on the front end to build it, to build the sales page, to put the checkout forms on there, and to create an email sequence that, when someone purchases, they get the product and they get support afterwards as well. But I can say that building your own thing and having your own offer can be a real game changer for you. And if you're an online teacher who's tired of working one-to-one classes, you still like doing it, but you don't want it to be your only thing, then I want you to think about what might be that turning point for you. What might be something that you could create, something that you could offer to the world that would help other teachers or people in another niche or whatever. Maybe you have a skill in making candles, or in cooking, or in building websites, or in coaching in a certain area, or whatever it is. There's thousands of ideas out there of things that you might be really good at that you can then turn into a course, or you could turn into a digital product that someone could purchase. I wish this for everyone. I think that it's a real game changer in your business if you can create some passive income, a digital resource that you can sell over and over again once it's created, that brings you income week after week, month after month, and year after year. And maybe it's not creating a digital product. Maybe it's just having more students, or creating group classes, or creating courses for students, or something in your specific online teaching business that you want to offer that you know is going to take you out of where you are, which may not be a bad place, I want to say, but take you out of where you are into a new place where you're making more money, having more impact, and creating more freedom in your life. So what is that for you? Tell me in the comments of this video. I'm really curious. What would be a turning point for you in your business? Or what has been a turning point for you in your business? As I'm sharing my story, are you thinking about something that you did? You may not even realize that you did it, but something that you did that sort of changed the trajectory of your business or what you were doing. You know, for me, it was getting hired with VIP Kid. That was a turning point, right? And then it was doing affiliate marketing for VIP Kid, or doing referrals. That was another turning point. And then, you know, slowly the sand kind of caved in under the house that I was building, and I made another pivot, which was a turning point to create my own offer. And I will never turn back, because when you have your own offer, you own that offer, and you're able to help other people, and it's your own thing, and no one's going to take that away from you, then I think you have found something that is going to be life-changing for you. So let me know, what is your turning point? That's mine. Thank you for listening to my story. If you're still here watching, I love you. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for engaging in the comments below. The best thing you can do for my channel is to, number one, subscribe if you're not already. Like the video if you haven't already done that. That really helps with the engagement. And maybe share this with another online teacher that you think could benefit from a little bit of inspiration from my story and thinking about what might be a turning point for you. I'm excited to bring more content around this. Ask questions, please, below if you have any questions around this, and I'd be happy to answer them for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and happy teaching.